Welcome to the Way Yet Close podcast. Meet your host, Lamia
and Mandy, expats like you, here to guide you through the food and body image challenges you might encounter as you settle into a new country.
Get ready to explore, eat, empower, no matter where you are in the world. Ready to dive in? Let's get started. Welcome to our new episode. Today's topic is especially relevant as the summer is here and the temperatures heats up. It's about the pressure to attain the summer body. We will share what it means and give you some practical tips for navigating these pressures. So let's dive in.
Yeah, you're right, Lamia. So we have seen in the last few days here in Amsterdam that the temperatures are rising. People are going out more, doing more outdoor activities, going to the beach, going to the river, playing sports. And with summer, there's also the pressure to have this summer body. This pressure is promoted by the media, advertising, social norms. We are expected to have a certain beauty standard and we need to look a certain way to fully enjoy the summer months. This is what they make us believe. And this it can be very harmful because if we don't have this ideal summer body, then we become really anxious, very stressed. We become very unsatisfied with our bodies, and we can engage in unhealthy behaviors such as a crash diet or excessive exercise or some disorder eating. So these can make us feel very self-conscious about ourselves, about our body, this promoted summer body that we see out there. And we may start to avoid some things because we don't feel that we are good enough for the summer.
Yes, exactly. So then how can we first define this summer body idea? So let's look at where it comes from and how we can then have different approaches to this ideal. So the summer body ideal is deeply rooted in the societal and cultural norms. So every day as summer approaches, we are bombarded with these kind of messages and images everywhere that suggests that we need to look a certain way to enjoy fully the season or to participate fully into the different summer activities.
Yes, and even these messages can come from our immediate people, our friends, our family, that they are thinking, oh, the summer is coming, we need to do this diet, or we need to do this beauty procedure somewhere. So all of this pressure creates this unrealistic idea of how we need to look. And then we start to feel really inadequate and we start to feel a lot of stress. And this is something that starts to affect our self-esteem, but it also can have very serious consequences for our mental health, like anxiety, depression, and eating disorders.
Yeah, crazy, no? It's this constant comparison and striving to meet these ideals can actually have a big impact on our overall mental well-being. So it's essential to recognize that these standards are not only unrealistic but also harmful. And if I think about my personal experience, this was also very affecting my self-esteem and my mental health. If I think about different social events that I avoided just because I didn't have the summer body that everybody expected from me or the society expected that I have, I would avoid certain events. I would think that I actually don't have the perfect clothing that fits the occasion. But it was not about the clothing. It was more about like I don't have that summer body that they're expecting me to have. I was not wearing the things that I want to wear because I didn't have the summer body. You can think about sleeveless t-shirts or shorts or bikinis. It's just, yeah, thinking I didn't work enough for my body. I didn't do what I needed to do before the start of the summer. So in a way, punishing myself about that and like avoiding these kind of events and saying, it's because of other things, not just me not following the summer body ideal. But did that also affect you, Mandy, maybe from your personal experience?
Yes, no, it certainly did. In my experience, I did not avoid events. I did go, but I was mostly in my mind. I was thinking how people are looking at me, if they are judging me. So I did go to these events, especially like when there was water involved, like going to the beach or going to a pool party. Where I come from in Mexico is super warm, so in the summer it was full of pool parties and events with water. So I did go, but I was mostly in my mind. I was not in the present moment. I was not enjoying connecting with the people. I was mostly thinking, how are they perceiving me? So this didn't make me feel very relaxed. So I felt that I didn't really enjoy this event so much because of all the overthinking.
Yeah, and that's crazy to see that both of us, we are influenced by this summer body ideals and we are missing some of the events or some of the activities of summer just because of that. And probably this is very influenced by social media, advertising, and these societal beauty standards play a significant role in shaping our perception and body image. And by body image, we mean all the thoughts and beliefs that you have around your body. So, yeah, platforms like Instagrams and TikTok now, they are showing the idealized, the filtered image that create a culture of comparison and unrealistic and healthy expectations. And this is also backed up with research where we see studies that have shown that exposure to edited and curated images can lead to increased body dissatisfaction and a lot of eating disorders, especially between teenagers.
Yes. And then we see advertised, if we put attention, like just before the summer or at the beginning of the summer, there are a lot of commercials, ads that they start to promote these products or services to make us lose weight or to change or alter some parts of our appearance. But these products, these advertisements are just trying to capitalize on our insecurities, and they are trying to perpetuate this ideal summer body just because they want to make some money at the cost of our mental well-being, our emotional well-being. So this is also not very good that they just target our insecurities to make profit. What do you think about that?
Yeah, exactly. They are profiting a lot from our body insecurities and they look into different topics that feeds more our insecurities. And some of them is like prioritizing our thinness, the youthfulness, the symmetries of body, and marginalizing those who don't fit in these narrow parameters, which can lead actually to more discrimination and more internalized feeling of inferiority. So, research also shows that those who internalize these body standards or beauty standards can result in body shame and decreased self esteem, particularly among young women. And that's really crazy to know and to understand, right?
Yeah, so it's really important that we promote body neutrality, diversity, and inclusivity in media representation, and that we really challenge these narrow beauty ideals. So one way to do it is to encourage critical media literacy. So people can really understand that this is not real and that they can become resilient and resist these harmful messages. For example, there are some media literacy programs where they teach individuals to critically analyze and question all the media messages. And these programs have been shown that they really reduce the impact on body dissatisfaction. So it really works if we critically look at with an analyzing eye.
Yeah, exactly. And maybe some of our listeners, they think, yeah, we don't really relate to all the things that you were just talking about with the social media and the different like promotion of thinness or youthfulness. But if you are a person that maybe grow up in the 80s or 90s, like a lot of us, or like me, for example, here, we didn't grow with social media, so we don't know that and we don't understand it maybe a lot, or we don't relate to it. But we had different ways, and we had the influence of all the magazines and movies or series on beauty standards. And it was too obvious and too like shown everywhere that we couldn't miss it. So during that time, popular magazines like the Cosmopolitan Vogue magazine, they often featured slim, airbrushed models on their covers, promoting a very narrow standard of beauty. And we can see it also from studies that from this period that they showed a clear correlation between reading fashion magazines and the increasing of the body's dissatisfaction among women, especially.
Yes, and like also from these times, from the 80s, from the 90s, where I also grew up, we were exposed to a lot of movies, about a lot of TV series like Baywatch, Beverly Hills, Friends, where they were only showing like these teen, conventionally attractive actors, and they were really reinforcing this message that these were the bodies that were successful or that were important because they will have like the principal roles in these movies or series.
Yeah, exactly. And then when they portray fat bodies, they actually do it in a negative way. They are often like a subject of joke or shame. You can see, for example, in Friends, where they included the character of Monica in a fat suit for flashbacks, reinforcing the stereotypes and mocking the larger body size. And that stays with you when you grow up with this kind of media and TV series that shows you, okay, a thin body is good, fat body is bad. And you grow up with that and you increase your dissatisfaction with your body. And again, like research also found this frequent exposure, this kind of media is actually linked to higher level of body dissatisfaction, and it increases the pursuit of thinness among the viewers.
Yeah, exactly. And also in this era, there were specifically prioritized the tan skin, a slim body, and often blonde hair. This also left very little room for diversity, and it really excluded a lot of people from different racial and ethnic backgrounds. And there are some studies that highlight that specifically women who did not fit this ideal, they felt marginalized and they struggle and started to have problems with their body image.
Yeah, exactly. And it's important for us to counteract these standards that are ingrained in our society now. It's important that we revisit and critically assess the media that we are consuming on a daily basis for many years. And yeah, embracing a more inclusive definition of beauty that celebrates the diversity in different body shapes, size, and ethnicity is very, very essential. Additionally, yeah, we can encourage open discussions on how these media influences affected us and can help this, which can help to foster a more positive and accepting environment for all body types.
Yeah, so it's very clear that social media platforms such as Instagram, now TikTok, together with all the advertisings, they really have a powerful impact on our body image. And they promote these unrealistic beauty standards, these filter idealist images that discriminate a lot of different races, ethnicities. They lead us to feel body dissatisfaction. They can lead us to eating disorders. These advertisements, they are trying to capitalize on our insecurities, and this is all not good. And since, well, many years ago, especially us that we grew up the 80s, in the 90s, we were also exposed to these magazine, TV shows. So it's really important that we take action, that we do something about it. This is really a serious concern that is very normalized. It's normalized to see these kind of ideas out there, and we are not really critically seeing the impact that this can have in our well-being, in our mental health. So it's very important that we start to promote body diversity, inclusivity, and that we can look at all these messages with a critical eye so that we can really resist the damage that these messages can bring to us, and we can start to have a healthier relationship with ourselves and accept all of the different body types that there are. And we mentioned in this some scientific research. And if you are more interested in reading more about that, you can find it in our show notes.
Yeah, exactly. And that's nice if they can also see this research if they are very curious about it. And you were saying like it's important to take action, and exactly it's our also kind of mission that we help you to take action, and that's what we provide through this podcast. And here are for you some practical tips to recognize and manage the influence of media. So first you can start with detoxing your feed, and what we mean is like cleaning your social media feed. It's one of the effective ways to combat the negative influences of social media, and it means to clean your feed intentionally. So, what you can do is you start by following accounts and influencers who promote a diverse range of body types and healthy, realistic perspective on beauty and wellness. And you can unfollow or mute accounts that promote unrealistic standards or make you feel bad about yourself or anxious or doesn't fit your values. So just unfollow and mute. There is no harm in that. And this simple step can significantly impact your mental health and how you perceive your own body. And if you are interested, we also have a workbook in the show note that you can download, and it can help you to do this process. It provides some exercises and prompts that you it helps you to reflect on how social media affects your body image, and it guides you to create a healthier, more positive feed. And this is like maybe your first step that you can do towards setting social media boundaries.
Yes, another practical tip relating to this is to limit your screen time. Sometimes we say, I'll just check that notification, I will just check that message, and then we realize that we are like 2 hours already in our phone or in our social media. So another tip is that we can have some specific time limits that we say, okay, these are my priorities for the day, and I only want to spend 30 minutes, 1 hour, you can decide. And there are many built-in tools nowadays on smartphones where you can find an app that can help you track and limit your screen time and like literally block the app after the time you set, or it can give you a lot of reminders or messages about the time you have spent. So in this way, you can spend more time also on the present, on the life, and not so much on social media that you can easily start to compare yourself with other bodies and will get into this negative spiral with your body image. Yeah, and additionally to this, there are also some apps you can look for. They can also help you to arrange your day so you can create some times of your day, maybe during your meals or before bed, or at specific times that you say, I really want to spend this time with my friends or with loved ones. You can also arrange. So really be mindful on how social media influences you. If you start to notice that after using social media, you feel anxious, depressed, inadequate, or really critical, really it's important that you can take a step back and reassess if the relationship you are having now with social media is working for you, if it's effective, or is it more harmful?
Yeah, exactly. And this really can create a healthier relationship with social media. And on top of it, we can also get educated about how the media manipulates the images and promotes certain ideals. So, by understanding the tactics used by advertisers and content creators to create this kind of unrealistic standards of beauty, we can get empowered to critically assess the media as we consume it. So, some of the ideas can be to learn how photo editing and filters work. So, if we understand tools like Photoshop and how the filters makes us alter the appearances, it can help us to recognize that the images that we see then on social media are usually not real images, that they don't represent the reality. If you get a bit technical in it, you can also see the flows. Sometimes you see like distorted backgrounds, and okay, they made it looking thinner, but they couldn't manage also the background properly. So if we learn about how this photo editing works, then we can get more like critical on how we see it. And then we can learn about who owns the media outlet. So those are the people that they often advertise, and they have certain agendas, underlying agendas. They may need to promote certain content that they are aligned with their business interests. Then it influences the portrayal of beauty and body standards. And an example is always the diet industry. They have a certain agenda. They want you to buy their diet, and then they need to portray the images that you see in social media in certain ways to say, okay, this is what we aim for, and this is like how we want you to look like, and you get our product to look like that. So, not being aware of that helps us a lot already. And then, if we are educated on the history of the beauty standards and exploring how they changed over time and across cultures, may be very helpful to understand how these beauty and body standards started and how they are changed over time and influenced by certain like society or certain ideals that they wanted to bring during that time. And this historical perspective can reveal that what is considered beautiful is often arbitrary and subject to change. And you can see on the like different years, like the beauty, like the perfect body changed over time. It was never the same during history. And being aware of that helps us to detach from the current narrow standards, and we will be able to question it. If it's changing over time, what does it mean? The ones that we have now, is it also real? We can start to question them. And that's very important to do that, to be able to advocate for ourselves and look at what really is important for us and what are our values and what we consider beautiful. And, everyone is beautiful and everyone is unique. So, why these kind of beauty standards are coming in the history?
Yes, no, exactly. And well, the last tip that we want to give is to start practicing gratitude towards our body. By practicing gratitude, we can start to shift this focus on our appearance to what our body actually does, because our body is an instrument to live our life, to enjoy, to feel satisfaction, pleasure, to engage in the things that are important to us. And sometimes we forget that because we are so focused on how it looks. So, with this gratitude practice, we can every day recognize the things that our body does to help us live the life we want to live and to help us have some significant moments, valuable moments in our life. So for this, I actually have a free guide that is called How to Start Accepting My Body at every size, at every number. And in this guide, there is a part where you have a gratitude journal, some prompts. So if you want to start practicing this, you can also go to our show notes and you will find the link to this guide.
Yeah, how nice that you are sharing with us this valuable resource. So today
Yes.
we explored the societal pressure of attaining a summer body and the impact of media and advertising. I hope it was useful for you and you are taking our tips to the next level. So thank you for tuning in and see you next time.
Yeah, see you. Thanks for tuning in to this episode of the Await Yet Close podcast.
Whether you are on the other side of the world or just navigating your own food and life journey, remember you're not alone.
If you enjoy what you heard, like, subscribe, and review us.
See
See
you
you
next
next
time.
time.